Well, hello everybody. I do apologize if you can hear the AC in my car, but it is currently 100 degrees outside, so that's gonna stay on. I did just want to check in because I realized I didn't film anything yesterday. So today is Monday. Yeah, today is Monday. I did have some training yesterday, but I didn't film it, because I was kind of like super tired by the time it was over. And also it was a really quick 4-hour training that was really, really important, but didn't have a lot of interesting elements to it, to be completely honest. It was more of an intro to operations class. So most of our class was consistent of Photopass photographers and transportation, so like bus drivers. And a lot of it was just going over mostly safety things, how to properly lift things, how to properly move things in ways that are going to be, safe for you, safe for our guests, all of that kind of stuff. So again, I didn't really film anything yesterday because there wasn't a whole lot I felt like I could talk about with the training, because it was mostly going over safety things like that. And then when I got home, I kind of just took a nap and didn't really do much the rest of the day. But it was another very good day. I did get my little earning my ears ribbon at that point yesterday, so we got that at the end of the day because the next day was when our role specific training, that would be today for me, was when our role specific training started. So they did give us our earning our ears ribbon, which was really fun. And then we did today, which today was a full day. So we started at 8 a.m. and we clocked out at about 4:30. So it was a full day, and this was really just that jump into Photopass. So we got to go through all of the basics of, the role of being a Photopass photographer, what we can expect, what's expected of us. And half of the day, I think pretty much about the last half of the day, was using our equipment. So we actually got they actually give us the harnesses for us, so we actually keep those and take care of those. And then they had some cameras and PDAs for us to use and start getting used to. And then we did, some practice shots. We did some test scenarios, lots of fun. And it was a really good day. It definitely makes me a little bit nervous in a way, because it's it's starting, this is now what I have to do. And there is definitely, even though I have been doing photography technically doing photography since I was 16, but even professionally for several years, there is still a learning curve with all of the equipment that Disney uses specifically, but also with what type of photos that Disney is specifically looking for and our guests are specifically looking for. And, trying to keep all of that in your head while, being that over-the-top Disney cast member. And so I felt like today was a really good introduction, where we got, some immediate feedback of okay, great, this was good. You did a great job with this, but we can improve this here. And so having that really immediate feedback loop was helpful, again, especially because even as, again, like I said, someone that's been doing photography professionally, you might be used to doing things that isn't what Disney or Disney's guests want or need. And so being able to again, have that feedback and being okay, I need to remember this, and these things are priority in these situations, all that. But honestly, it was a ton of fun, because we got to, learn everything, but then go out and take some pictures. And I think it was just that reminder of this is gonna be my job. This is what I'm gonna do every day for guests and kids and everything that come through. And the fact that it was so fun in training, and I know that training is a more controlled environment, so that's a little bit more easy, I guess, but it was still fun. And so that honestly just made me really excited for the rest of training and going forward, because I was able to look at my schedule going forward. So I have 2 days of in-park training. And so that is going to be tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and Wednesday. And those are going to be very long, very full shifts. They're 8.5 and 9 hour shifts, one opening, one closing. And then after that, I have one more like really short day of training, which is going to be, so I'm going to be in Magic Kingdom, if you didn't already know that, and that is going to be like an introduction to Magic Kingdom as a park, what to know, I think some history, and all that kind of stuff. So that is going to be on Friday, and then on Saturday, I'm getting to work. I have a full schedule starting on Saturday. I think I have Monday and Tuesday off, but I am working every other day. I do believe I have all morning shifts, which is really nice, to be honest. I don't know if it'll stay that way, but at least for the next like week and a half, I have morning shifts, and let me tell you, they were not joking when they were talking about full time. So this week with all my training, I'm about 35 hours. Next week, I am at 38. So like we are getting to it, but I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be good. Honestly, I've been sitting here waiting for things to cool off a little bit in the car, and I think we're just about there. So that is kind of my update for now. Oh, the other thing, we did get our costumes today, obviously, because we're starting in the parks tomorrow. And honestly, I love the costumes. They are super comfortable. Apparently they're made from recycled ocean waste, I believe, or ocean plastic. Which is super cool. Love it. There is controversy over the lime green, which I understand, but honestly, I don't hate it. And it was actually super comfortable. So, and I'll have to insert a picture of the costume that I wore on my college program, both of them. They have since changed that costume. So if you go to the location I was at, it's no longer this costume, but I'm gonna have to insert a picture because that costume was kind of ridiculous, kind of in a fun way, but just kind of crazy. And so I kind of like that this one is a little more simple, even with the neon color, but I did get those picked up today. So I officially have my costume, and we're going for it. Like it's so crazy to think that like we're done. We're almost done. And this is my job, and this is just gonna be my life from here on going forward. So yeah, so I'm super excited. That's kind of the update. I don't know if I'll film anything else tonight. I might. It's already 5 o'clock, so I'm not sure what else we're gonna do besides eat dinner. But yeah, a little update for you guys. And I'm super excited for my first day in the parks tomorrow. And I will probably try and film something for you guys tomorrow, since again, it's my first day in the parks. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Well, hello everybody. You may be able to tell, but I am actually back home from my first training day in the park. First official park shift. I don't know if you can tell by my face, it's pretty red. It was a very hot day today, and we were outside for most of it, which was really tough, to be honest, but it was good. To be completely transparent, for the first 20 minutes, I was like, I don't know how this ship is gonna go. Like, I was like seriously concerned about it, because it really felt like just like throw, like just go. And I was like, okay. It turned out great. It was a great day. We learned a lot, and I'm feeling much confident towards the end of the day, and I can get into more specifics, but like definitely at the very beginning, I was not sure how the day was gonna go, but I'm glad it ended the way that it did. So we got to meet our trainers. We had 2. I don't know if that's normal, because I think one of them, she was shadowing or like training to become a trainer. So I don't know if you normally have 2, but we had 2 because it was me and one other girl training, and then we had 2 trainers, which was really nice because there were certain times where we could like split up and like do one-on-one, and that was really nice. Most of our day we spent walking around the park and basically going to each of the locations that we could be assigned to on a shift, and then they would also show us some of the different break rooms and water areas and bathrooms that we could use as cast members. Because again, Photopass is one of those, like, you get your assignment and you go out and you're by yourself and you do your job. But you know, that means that there isn't always somebody like, oh, hey, can you, watch my spot while I go to the bathroom or something like that. And so, and Photopass is all over the park. So, you're going to have some cast members in Tomorrowland, some in Adventureland, and obviously you're going to use a different break room or get water at a different spot if you're at those different locations. So majority of our day was basically walking the entire park and seeing each of the positions that you could be assigned to for a shift, which was super helpful, great to know. And they said that like when you're starting out, you're pretty much assigned to like one area for a while until you get used to it, and then they'll start assigning you other places. So that was really good. And then about the last like 2 hours of our shift, we got to take photos. So we did about like 30-40 minutes with our trainers, going through how the camera, and we have a little digital PDA with us. That's what helps to communicate, so that you guys can get your photos, or we can set different things as we need to as the photographer. So we went over how to use that, how to take the photos, helping with like posing and stuff, which was super helpful, because honestly that was like my biggest like concern or like just question of like, okay, if we're gonna start taking photos of guests, like how are you wanting them posed, or like what are some prompts or poses that you can use, because there's like a set number of photos that you want to try and get per family, and it's like, okay, how can you make sure you hit that? We were not doing magic shots or like overly creative shots yet. We were mostly focusing on kind of our basics today, but we did actually get to shoot with some guests, which was definitely an experience. And I'm really glad that we got to, because we only did like 30 minutes and our trainers were right there with us. And so it was definitely one of those, like, it was super nerve-wracking, and it was like, oh my gosh, like I know I'm gonna mess up, but it's better to like mess up with a trainer there and have somebody who can like tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey, like remember to do this, or oh hey, like maybe have them stand a little over here so they're in a better position, or don't forget to do this kind of shot. And so it was like a little bit like being thrown to the wolves, but like with with some help along the way. So that was great. And then afterwards we went back and we were able to view the photos that we took with our trainer, and they would go over like, okay, this was a great shot. This one you could improve by having them take one step to the left, or having them shift this way, or maybe do a cropped in shot here kind of thing. So that was super helpful to get the feedback. Also, most of the guests were super understanding, because, they can see that we're in training, and we're, very patient with us as well. So that was very appreciated. The main thing today, like I said, is it was just so hot, and you are out there for 2.5 to 3 hours at a time in between breaks, and it's just kind of rough. And we were, like I said, we were walking around pretty much the whole park today, so that was honestly just the toughest part. But not like in a super braggy way or anything, but it definitely like made me super happy to hear. As we were going back through our photos, there was like one of my photos that my trainer was like, this is such a great photo, like this would be a postcard. And I was like, oh, thank you. And I was just like, I'm just so glad they don't all suck, because there were definitely some bad ones in there too, but it was nice to hear. I was like, okay, like getting on the right track here. And then, as we're doing this, I'm talking to my other trainer, and it's like, especially at that point, because we did it at like the last hour of the day, and so we've spent like almost 8 hours like cramming information into our brain, trying to like remember everything. But it's like you get out there and it's like, yes, there's definitely things that you need to remember, but at the end of the day, you're just taking photos of our guests and having fun with them, and that's all that really matters. And yes, you need to do all the things so that they can get their photos and make sure that they look nice, but at the end of the day, you're just having fun with them, and that's all that really matters. So, also, I'm so sorry I did not film anything this morning. Obviously, I can't film anything while I am at work, but I can't say I was running late, but I didn't have a lot of extra time this morning, so I didn't film anything of me getting ready, but really it was just putting the costume on. But I'm already back home now. I don't know what we're gonna do for dinner. Our plans kind of got derailed. No big deal, but I'm gonna go up and see because I'm very hungry at this point, and I'm sure my husband is too. So, but I just wanted to catch you guys up on first official day in the park, first training day in the park. It was good, and then we have one more training day in the park tomorrow, which is gonna be a night shift. So luckily I don't go in until 1:30, which will be nice because I can sleep in. We're gonna do some nighttime shots, learn how to do magic shots, which will be really nice. And then that's our last training day for a while. So with Photopass, you train on things incrementally. So basically we train on what they call icon. So that's basically taking pictures in front of the castle. And so we train on that, and then I'm gonna have shifts for I think a week or week and a half doing that, and then we'll train in something else, and then I'll have a bunch of shifts in that, and then train in something else, and so on. I will probably have my earning my ears ribbon for about a month because the training is just a little bit more intense, but we are not mad at that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little update. First day, again, have second day tomorrow, and then I actually have a day off, and then we have one more day of training technically, but I think it's more like an introduction to the park day, which is really funny because we're doing it at the end of the week, but it's a little 4-hour shift. But that's the rest of the week, and then on Saturday I start having official shifts, and I will be on my own. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that was today. It was a good day. It was a long day. I'm very tired, but it was a good day. Well, hello. It has been a minute since I have filmed anything, and let me explain why. So today is Friday. I think the last time I filmed was Tuesday when I had my first in-park, in-costume day of training. So on Wednesday we had our day 2. So Tuesday was an opening, Wednesday was a closing. And our shift was 9 hours, which was very long. It was very good, but it was very long. So we started at 1:30, clocked out at 10:30. And so by the time I got done, I was just completely wiped. I ended up stopping and getting some dinner, so I didn't get home until about 11:30. Didn't really go to bed until close to 1 a.m. It was just a very long day. I was just very tired by the end. So like I said, I picked up some dinner, we ate, and then just went to bed because I was just so tired. And then because at that point, even though some of the days were classroom days or a little shorter, but that had been 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, five days in a row of working. And so Thursday was my one day off this week, and especially coming off of that 9-hour closing shift, I was just exhausted. I was so tired, and so I slept in as long as I could, but especially with the sun and everything, I probably woke up a little earlier than I wanted to, but I basically stayed in bed until probably 2 p.m. I was just so tired, and the idea of picking up the camera to film at that point was just not happening for the day, but that is okay. Did not really do much yesterday. Again, like I said, I stayed in bed till about 2. We ended up getting some food at some point, and then around 5 p.m. my energy kind of started picking up again, which was just so funny. I think I was just kind of used to a bit more of that closing shift mentality, and so about 6 p.m. my energy kind of picked up, and we ended up rearranging our whole apartment, which was just really funny because my husband was like, let me pose you this question, and then it turned into us literally moving all of our furniture. I don't know if anybody else is that way. I'm that way to him sometimes. We're just that way. let me pose a question, and then you deep dive in the rabbit hole and suddenly you're moving furniture at 10 p.m. It's fine. But so that was basically yesterday. The unfortunate thing was, again, I kind of inadvertently got my body on that schedule. And so last night I really couldn't fall asleep until like 12:30, 1 a.m., which was unfortunate because I had to be at Magic Kingdom meeting place at 7:15 this morning. So I was up at about 5:30 to get ready. I grabbed some coffee, and then again, if you work at Magic Kingdom just as the guest, you do have to take a shuttle to get where you need to go. It's separate, like the parking lot is separate from the actual park, and so it takes a little bit longer. And so in order to be there at 7:15, I was up at 5:30, so I basically did not sleep last night. And so I obviously did not film this morning because that was not happening. But I just wanted to catch up with you guys a little bit. So again, Wednesday, I had that second day of training, which went really well and it was great. We did a lot more practice. So we did like 4 or 5 kind of sets where we would take pictures of guests, which was really cool as part of our training, getting really used to the guest interaction, getting used to our photo system and all of that. And so I feel a lot more comfortable using that. Again, we did a closing shift, so we got to do some nighttime photography and learning some of the tips and tricks for that. I do think we'll end up doing another, I could be wrong, but I think we do another more in-depth nighttime training a little bit longer. But we did officially, like that was day 3, and so that officially ends part 1 of training. So I have completed part 1, which is a little scary because now that means I have to go out and actually do it, and I'm on my own. But it also feels really, really good. So this morning was a little weird. I think because some of us who are full-time, they really wanted us to get our training, like go ahead and get in there. So today was actually our property orientation tour. So it was just a tour of Magic Kingdom. It was just about 4 hours, and literally all we did was walk through the park, and we had 2 facilitators who would just point out everything in the park that we needed to know. So we would go to different sections and they would show us, these are the attractions that are here, these are the merchandise locations, these are the food and beverage locations, so we can get really familiar with the park to help answer any questions that our guests may have. So honestly, it was a really chill day. I don't know if you can tell, it was very cloudy today. The weather was amazing, which was really nice for our tour, but I have to be honest, I was like mildly salty because I was like, today would have been a great day, like for a first day of work, or a great day to actually work, especially if you had a longer shift, because it is so cloudy. Even though the temperature is a bit higher, there's a nice breeze. It honestly feels so good out, which again, it's totally fine. I'm sure there'll be other days like this, but very nice for our tour. And I do think we're gonna go over to Disney Springs this afternoon just for a bit of fun before my first official week of work starts. And I have a pretty heavy schedule this week. I'm hitting almost 40 hours this week, and so I just know that the rest of the week is going to be pretty work heavy, and so I wanted to do something a little bit fun before that started. So I think we're gonna go to Disney Springs and probably get lunch or dinner. I don't know about what time we're gonna go, but I think we're gonna get some food, just kind of walk around. We're not gonna stay too late because it is Friday, so it does get pretty busy, but we're gonna do something a little fun. And then tomorrow, which is Saturday, is my first official shift on my own, which again is a little scary, but I'm excited. I will be on the east side of Magic Kingdom, so some of that is the hub, as they call it, up near the castle and the partner statue, and a little bit of Tomorrowland. So that is where I'm going to be for the day. Luckily, the shift isn't too long. I think it's about 7.5 hours. So I feel like a nice way to ease into this. However, on Sunday, I believe I have a 9.5 hour shift on Main Street, so that is going to be a tough day, a long day, but I am feeling very good about everything so far. So yeah, obviously by the time this video comes out, these days will have passed, but at this point in time, I'm a little nervous, but I think it's gonna be great, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to really get into this job and feel a lot more confident and just to have fun, which is really what this job is all about, is having fun and capturing those magical moments for our guests. So that will be good. Again, I really just wanted to check in. I'm sorry I did not film anything over the last 2 days. I was just so tired. I'm feeling okay right now because it's still fairly early, but I know that I'm probably gonna hit a wall not too long. But since my shifts for the next week are morning shifts, not all of them are like super early morning shifts, but they are all in the morning. So I will probably be going to bed pretty early tonight to get a good night's rest for my first shift. But I just want to check in and talk to you guys because, again, this journey has been it's been a dream for like such a long time, and now it's finally happening. And the last time I did this, I was on the college program, and so the process has been totally different because I was also at a different park and a different role, and so I'm just trying to share as much as I can. But yeah, I am super excited, and I'm also excited to just continue this journey and bring you guys along when I can, discussing my role as a Photopass photographer, but also now us living in Orlando and all the opportunities that unlocks. So I am gonna go upstairs now, and I'll probably see you guys at Disney Springs, maybe, at least a few clips here and there.
He's chicken guy.
You want to be in the video so bad, you can just say so.
Nah, I just gotta be annoying. Obnoxious. Really
I
fun.
love how much you didn't expect that.
Of two brands I never thought I'd see come together is Disney and Crocs.
It's like a whole thing though. Like it's such like a sub community. It's crazy. You see the Lion King ones?
Oh my gosh. Those are actually pretty cute. Too much.
You're not allowed to get Crocs.
They're like the one thing.
That's like the one thing. I'm sorry, but no.
You need that one? Oh, so it's been 25 years since...
Yeah, episode 1.